I'm going down in town. I'm gonna carry the folks and I'm going down in town. Since I was a young man, the traditional way of life has kind of gone by the wayside. The conservative people have given way to younger people. It was not that way when I was a lad, but it has changed. It has changed. We have become the melting pot of the East.
Whitesburg has changed a lot in the last 14 years that I've been here, but it also hasn't. I mean, there's not a whole lot going on in downtown when I moved here.
I don't know how many friends I have that are like making a living by being painters, being artists. They take commissions from people. I don't know how many people like that. My friends work at Summit City and also their bands play at Summit City. They get to hang their art at Summit City. My friends open a record store. They get to sell their music in there. I can put my tapes that I make in there to sell. It's like artist helping artist.
There are a lot of people who call themselves artists in Whitesburg. I don't necessarily know if it's a place that needs a huge influx of artists from the outside. I think that this community has a lot of purists, and that means that there are people who believe the art or music that's being created has to be really genuine and a lot of times specific to this area, coming from this area. I think that we need the artists and musicians and writers and people that are already in this community to bring their work, their message, whatever, to this place, because it is kind of a hub for that.
I think the scene in Whitesburg has always been strong, and I think Summit City being kind of a central place where a lot of those threads could come together has strengthened it. But it doesn't exist only at Summit City. It exists in a lot of different venues and a lot of different ways and places in the community. So I'm really certain that the scene and the scenes that all kind of intersect here are strong, are vibrant, and can go for a long time.
I mean, you go to Northern Virginia and it's a different atmosphere. You go to Hazard, Kentucky, it's a different atmosphere. Whitesburg's like this, it's protected by a bubble, We've not been able to be popped. I feel like we're real unique, Even though there's a lot of old timers here and a lot of closed-minded people, it's really a big open-minded community. Really, I feel like it's becoming to be, But I can't speak for everyone.
I have seen the entertainment art scene in Whitesburg develop from the time I was a kid. There was a time when there was a big boom of these punk and metal and alternative kind of shows going on. I think that it could very easily come back.
I love that they exist. I honestly, even when I was 16, did not love punk music. Just never been my scene as far as musically, but as far as what it provides community-wise, I think they're fantastic.
Pikeville's not having punk shows or has drag shows or anything, and Hazard sure the hell ain't doing anything worth going to, Whitesburg is the most lively aspect and part of Eastern Kentucky to me, just because This is where we meet to play music. Like this building, next week we will be playing music here. All my friends will be here. Like after that, we will all be hanging out here. You know, Whitesburg is the meeting ground. Like people who live in Hazard, Pikeville. It's like people come here to congregate.
I think it's safe to say that summer brings tourism in for sure. I mean, I think every weekend we've got music that people are coming at a minimum from surrounding counties, but mostly, I mean, often from even further than that.
I think that given all of the attractions here, I think it's definitely going to bring people into the area, and it's going to, you know, be marked on people's maps and say that is a funny little town. Like that's not like any other place that's in that region.
We are looking at primarily is tourism, adventure tourism, and getting people to come in.
Change is hard, no matter what. I mean, even if it's really positive, there are always going to be people who are uncomfortable with the idea that it's different than what it was. And I think that there are really deeply entrenched political ideas about what is possible in Eastern Kentucky, and those don't match with what the people here who are living and working and doing think is possible. But those sometimes can, that difference can create some barriers sometimes, I think.
I think that there's been a whole lot of talk about tourism, ecotourism, environmental adventure tourism. I think that there is some tourism that's brought in here. I don't know if that's really the answer to any of the issues that we're facing here or an answer to any of the problems that we're having.
You know, there's a lot of problems here. You know, there's a lot of like water issues. There's a lot of drug issues. You know, but that's everywhere. There's something everywhere. But overall, I loved growing up here. I had a good childhood, you know.
I think the future of Whitesburg is very promising, and it's not going to be easy. There's a lot of really hard things about trying to make the most of a place that has a lot of really deep issues. You know, that this is not necessarily the easiest place with the most resources in some ways. In other ways, it's an amazingly rich, amazingly complex place that people are really resourceful. And so, you know, I think the future is really hopeful.
For Whitesburg's future, I hope that I see everyone's creativity, everyone's passion blending with practicality, and I hope that I see people drawing attention to this place with their artwork or their music or whatever, their documentary, their, you know, whatever. I hope that can draw attention to this place to lead us to address more practical things. Like, how do we make these really great things that are happening here more available to people in the area?
I think the future of Whitesburg is promising. The thing that has kind of hurt us at this point is the economy here. The coal mines everywhere have closed down. People just do not have much money to spend on extracurricular activities. It has hurt us as well as the businesses here.
I hope it stays Whitesburg. You know, like it would be cool to grow and have bigger shows and bigger things happen here. But it's also like the reason it's so special is because it's so small and it's kept here. You know, the reason I like playing shows here, like booking shows here, is because like, yeah, probably only 50 people's gonna show up, but those 50 people give a shit. It's a lot better to have 50 people that care than 100 people that are assholes.
I think Whitesburg is what you make out of it, and I see a lot of young people making a lot of really great stuff in Whitesburg, so I think probably it seems like a good place.
Ramu